I'm Pooja Rathod. I'm psychology lecturer. Today we are going to talk about mental age, intelligence quotient and types of intelligence tests. In the last class we saw what is the meaning of intelligence. Can you remember the meaning of it? So intelligence is the ability of a person, how fast he adapts to the situation and how fast he solves the problem. So that is what intelligence is. The definition was given by whom? So you don't remember or you remember it? Okay. So the definition was given by William Stern and Alfred Binet, okay, as well as by David Washler. So these three people are very much important when we talk about the term intelligence. So let's go ahead with today's topic: mental age, intelligence quotient, and types of intelligence tests. What's your mental age? Have you ever heard about the term mental age? Yes or no? Okay. So, can you tell me what is your biological age right now? Is it 16, 15, 17? Okay. So, the biological age is known as your chronological age. Okay, so it is from birth till now is your chronological age. Now, what is a mental age then? Any idea? Okay, so we will see that in detail. So, the term mental age was first introduced by Alfred Binet. According to him, mental age is a mental development need not corresponding to a chronological age. So, the mental age is at what level your mental development has been done. So, that is known as mental age. Mental age can be defined as the age at which individuals perform successfully on the items on the test prepare of that age. So in this video we are going to cover the types of intelligence tests, right? So in those intelligence tests, how far the persons perform as compared to the age is known as his mental age. So for example, if a child is performing well on a 7-year mathematical problem, and after that also if his age is 7, and then also is performing the sums of 8-year-old child or 10-year-old child, then we say that his age or his mental age is of a 10-year-old child. So we will see that in a table form. So over here, the name of the individuals are given, the chronological age is given, the age at which individual performed successfully on all the items in the test, that age is given, and their mental age is given. So over here, for example, Isha is 10 years old. She has performed a task of a 12-year-old child, and after that 13-year-old, 14-year-old, she is continuously failing to do those tasks. Okay, so that is why her upper limit age is 12, so her mental age is 12-year-old. Same way with Ankit's chronological age is 10. The age at which he has performed the task is 10. That's why his mental age is 10. With Rajesh, his chronological age is 10. The amount at which he has performed the task is 8, and his mental age is 8. So you can see that Isha is above her average age, Ankit is at average mental age, and Rajesh is below his chronological age. So he is below average child. So here you can see a clear difference in chronological age and mental age. Next concept is about IQ. We have heard what IQ is. So IQ stands for intelligence quotient. So we will see that term in detail. Intelligence quotient, the concept of IQ was introduced by a German psychologist William Stern in 1912 as a ratio of MA to CA. Okay, so what we saw in the last slide was mental age and chronological age. So the formula was later on refined by Terman. Okay, so he has given a multiplying the ratio of MA and CA by 100. So the formula comes in as MA upon CA into 100, where IQ stands for intelligence quotient, MA stands for mental age, and CA stands for chronological age. Okay, now this was very earlier when this IQ formula was used, but if this chronological age keeps on increasing, for example, if I want to find out IQ of a 64-year-old male, so automatically that is going to show a difference in his IQ because of the number of the age. So right now they have formed a standardized way to find out the IQ, wherein on the basis of 100 the IQ of every person has been find out. So the above average score would be around 100 or 150, and on the basis of that standardized score the person's IQ is been tested. Okay, so for example, a basic example I would like to give is about your unit test. Your unit test is of 25 marks, right? So on the basis of that 25 marks, if you're getting 18, if you're getting 17, if you're getting 10, so then it is easier to compare where that the person falls in the range of. So over here, similarly in IQ, they have kept a standard score of 100, and from 100, where does that person stands, then it is compared with other person and the IQ is find out. So currently the IQ is equal to MA upon CA into 100. This formula is not being used, but a standardized 100 range is being used. Over here we can see a frequency distribution of IQ score. So from 85 to 115, this falls in a average IQ. So 34.1 and 34.1% people fall in average IQ. So that is a 68.2% of people fall in the average IQ. Rest 0.1 and 0.1 falls into a highly mentally retarded state. So you can see there's a bell diagram over here wherein most of the people fall in the range of average. If someone is above average, then he has an IQ of 115. If someone has a very superior or gifted child, then it is about 130. If someone is at borderline mental retarded, then he would range into between 70 to 85. If someone is mildly mentally retarded, then he will fall in the range of 55 to 70. And if someone is like highly profoundly mental retarded, then his IQ would be below 55. Okay, so this is the frequency distribution of a IQ score. Next we move on to the types of intelligence tests. Okay, so there are 4 types of intelligence tests that we are going to see. So first two are based on administration, and second last two are based upon the material used. So based on the administration means how they are being conducted. So it is individual test of intelligence and group test of intelligence. Based on the material used, it would be a verbal test of intelligence and a non-verbal test of intelligence. Verbal test of intelligence is also called as a written test or oral test, whereas non-verbal test is called as a performance test. Okay, so it is necessary for us to understand that a individual test could be a verbal and performance, whereas group test could also be a group verbal or a group non-verbal or group performance. I hope it is clear to you. We will see it once again over here that types of intelligence tests are broadly classified into two methods of administration, or the materials is being used on the methods of administration, that is how they are conducted. It could be an individual test or it could be a group test. On the basis of material, it could be a verbal test. Verbal test is also known as written or oral test. Non-verbal test is also called as a performance test, wherein the person is going to perform. Okay, again, a individual test could be both verbal and non-verbal. Again, a group test could be both verbal or non-verbal. So I hope you are clear with this. Non-verbal test is also called as a performance test, and a verbal test is called as a written or oral test. So we will start with the first one, that is the individual test. Now seeing this picture, you must be having a clear idea what the individual test is. So individual test is taken on one-to-one basis, wherein there would be an administrator or a counselor or a psychologist taking a test of a client, intelligence test of a client, and where the client answers the test. So it is one-to-one basis. Okay, so over here they have given the various example, that is Binet scale of intelligence, Wechsler scale, Dr. Bhatia's performance test of intelligence. So again, as I said, that individual test can also be a performance test. So Dr. Bhatia's performance test, Cole's block design, author points of design. So these are some of the example of individual tests. Over here you can see two examples, that is a Seguin form board test and Goddard form board test. So this is a kind of a performance test. So what happens over here, an individual does perform this test. Okay, he is not going to write, he is not going to speak over there, but he is going to perform a task. So this in this picture you can see an example of Seguin form board test, wherein the person has to put that block in that particular shape. Okay, so how fast he does, on the basis of that his IQ is noted. Okay, so this one is an example of a individual performance test. Again I will repeat, individual test is one to one, and individual performance is the person performing a test. Individual written would be a person writing the test. Individual oral would be a person giving a oral test. So again we will see the advantages. There are three advantages. The test is administered, can establish a rapport with the client. Okay, so since it is a one-to-one test, there is a time for an administrator to establish a trusting relationship with a client, which will help him to conduct an intelligence test in ease. The test administrator can get additional information about the client's feelings, mood, and expression during the test. So he will get an idea whether the client is feeling anxious during the test, and whether that anxiety has caused a difference in a test result. Then individual tests are more capable of measuring creative thinking compared to the group test. So how much person's creativity is, what kind of thinking he is having, all that can be easily measured in an individual test, because it is the time is given on one-to-one basis. What would be the disadvantage? Again, the disadvantage would be it is time consuming, because if I have to take a test of a 50 students, then if a one test takes around 1.5 hour, how much would be the time taken for around 50 students? Okay, so could you imagine how much time it is consuming on one-to-one basis? Same way, it is very much costly because the time and the energy spent for a one administrator, for a one individual, could be very costly. Individual test requires a trained, skillful examiner to administer, score, and interpret them. Again, a administrator should know all the techniques of how to conduct a IQ test when it is on one-to-one basis. Next is group test. As its picture suggests, it is exactly the opposite of an individual test. In a group test, number of students or number of people take participant in the test, and they all answer the test on their own intelligence level. Okay, so it is not a kind of that everyone is answering together. No, it is not like that. Everyone has a separate answer sheet, but it is conducted in a same room. So for example, it would be like your exams. Okay, so in exams you all have a separate answer sheet and you write it over there. So same would be a group test. Example would be Army Alpha, Army General Classification Test, Raven Standard, Progressive Matrices, etc. Okay, so these are some of the examples. Group tests of intelligence were devised to recruit large number of soldiers. So in the last video, we saw what was the Army Alpha and Army Beta test. So it was used to recruit the large number of soldiers. So that time this group test of intelligence was being used. Even today we use a large number of group test of intelligence. This is again the opposite of individual intelligence test. So group tests are less time consuming and more economical. So they are very cheap to use. In administrating group tests, the role of examiner is minimal. So he need not go through any specialized training. So any one person who is even the interns in psychology can conduct a group test. Disadvantages of group test: the test administrator has much less opportunity to establish a rapport. So again, if there are lots of people in one room and only a one administrator is there, so he can't build that one-to-one trusting relationship with the client. So over here it is bit difficult in group test. Then compared to individual test, group tests are less capable of measuring creative aspects of intelligence that we discussed while stating a individual group test. Next is verbal test of intelligence. Verbal test of intelligence uses language. Okay, it is very much important for you to understand verbal test. Verbal test uses language. It uses words or numbers for measuring the intelligence, are called as verbal test of intelligence. Again, verbal test can be an individual verbal test or a group verbal test. The examples are Army Alpha, Wechsler's Adult Intelligence Scale, that is WAIS, are the some of the example of verbal test of intelligence. Now, why I am stating the examples over here? Because whenever you write the answers in the board, it is necessary that you write the examples. Even these examples are being used in Phillips and method column. So you need to remember the names of the test given here. Most of the students are confused between Army Alpha and Army Beta. So better clear that confusion beforehand. Advantages of verbal test of intelligence. So what would be the advantage? Verbal test of intelligence are useful to measure higher mental abilities. So how well the person is good at linguistic, how well his word fluency is. So these are all higher mental abilities tasks. So that time it is most useful. Verbal tests of intelligence are useful to differentiate people having average intelligence and people having above average intelligence. So if a person is having above average intelligence, he is going to do well in this verbal test. Okay. Disadvantage: is that people having different linguistic background, illiterate people and small children, obviously they can't give this verbal test, because to give a verbal test they should understand a language first. Again, this tests are culture born and therefore cannot be used in other cultures. For example, if you only know English, Hindi, Marathi, and your mother tongue language, but you don't understand any foreign language, and if the intelligence test is given to you in some other foreign language, then that time it becomes really difficult for you to answer. And that is why verbal test is known as culture born test, because the people from other culture or other background who don't understand that particular language and unable to read it, then there is difficulty. Again with the small children who don't understand the language, again with the illiterate people. So if there is an illiterate person but there is a need for a IQ test to an illiterate person, then again a verbal test can't be given. And that is when a performance test comes into a role, or a non-verbal test comes into the role. So, a non-verbal test uses picture, designs, material objects, etc. to measure the intelligence of the person. In this test, language is not used to measure the intelligence. In this test, the subjects are not required to respond in the verbally to test items. Non-verbal tests are of two types, that is performance test and the paper pencil test. So in performance test, it would be how fast you perform a test. So they would give you a block and how fast you can solve that block, or how fast you can solve a puzzle. That would be a performance test. Paper pencil test would be how fast you can, draw, or how fast you can answer a particular question. That would be a paper pencil test. So that is known as a non-verbal test, where there is a no usage of language at all. So this is one of the example of a non-verbal test. Here you can see a Dr. Bhatia's block design over here. So over here they have given a pattern and the person is presented with the block. So how fast he can solve that particular puzzle and he can make that particular design. So there is a stopwatch and then his time is recorded over here. So this is known as a performance test. So obviously, advantages of a non-verbal test would be any person who has a different linguistic background, who does not understand a language, but still he can perform well. A illiterate person can perform. A small child can perform. So it is very much useful to measure a intelligence test. At the same time, the client does not get bored while doing a non-verbal intelligence test. So over here in this picture, you can see that a child is performing with the blocks. Okay, so he is appearing for a non-verbal test. So many times it happens that a small child is not doing well in the class, like a junior KG, senior KG child is not doing in the good in the class. So how are you going to find out his intelligence? Okay, it is necessary to find out the IQ of a child. So with this test, it is easier to find the IQ of the child. This tests are culture free and therefore it can be used in other cultures. So it is just the opposite of a verbal test of intelligence. Disadvantage of nonverbal test of intelligence. Nonverbal tests of intelligence are less suitable to measure higher and subtle mental abilities. So over here, we won't be able to find out how verbal fluency of the person is, how good he is in linguistic, and how good he is in maths. Okay, so this all things cannot be found out because it requires a higher mental abilities, and that time a verbal test plays an important role. Non-verbal tests of intelligence are less suitable to differentiate between a people having a average intelligence and the people having above average intelligence. So you may think that why not there should be a combination of a verbal and a non-verbal test, right? So Wechsler's adult intelligence scale, which was given by David Weschler. David Weschler. It is a combination of both a verbal and a non-verbal test. So most of the psychologists use this WAIS, WAIS, and WISC, WISC, to measure the intelligence of the person. Quickly, we will see the difference between verbal and performance. So in verbal, this kind of tests are used, that is information, similarities are need to be found out, arithmetic, vocabulary, comprehension. You have given English paper, so you know that what comprehension is. And digital span means how quickly he can see the numbers and he can note it down. Performance would be the picture completion, coding, picture arrangement, block design that we saw earlier, object assembly, and symbol research. So there are symbols and then he has to search it. So all this kind of tests are known as a performance test. We'll see the difference in them. So individual is given 1 to 1 person, group is given from 1 to different person. Individual is mainly done, observe characteristics to the individual. Group test mainly done to meet the particular need. Individual test is very much expensive, whereas group test is cheaper. Then individual test involves one-to-one consultation with the individual and verbal and non-verbal subtests. This test includes